Welcome to DRC Live, powered in part by Classic of Denton and the Denton Record-Chronicle. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com.
Good afternoon, Denton. I'm Lucinda Breeding. I'm the features editor from the Denton Record-Chronicle, and
I'm Jenna Duncan. I'm the business editor at the Denton Record-Chronicle, and this is our weekly show, DRC Live, coming to you live on DentonRadio.com through Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of the places.
all the places.
At 2 p.m. today, we're a little bit off because there was a tornado warning in town.
I know. Is everybody okay? Is everyone okay?
I hope everything
Take care of
is
yourself. Take
fine.
care of yourself.
We'll probably have more on that later on DentonRC.com.
Yeah,
but for now, we're here to talk about business news, events news, arts and culture, and kind of what you should be on the lookout for this weekend. So what are you
this is
looking into this week?
Very cool weekend coming up. You know, school is kind of out.
Yes.
And you might be wondering, hey, you know, what can we do? And I know a lot of you folks with teenagers have already seen Avengers Endgame, so you can't do that.
Yes.
Unless you want to see it again. But something truly cool is coming to Denton. It's called MESMERICA 360. And it's going to be at the UNT Sky Theater.
Okay.
And, you know, like, I'm of the age where when I was in middle school and high school, the laser light shows that were synchronized to very famous or very important albums became a really big deal at metropolitan planetariums or planetaria. I never know what to do.
I don't know what the plural is there.
You know, I feel like to be proper with the plural, I should do the Latin thing, but then I'm like, oh God, that sounds ridiculously staid and stupid, so don't say it. But this is kind of like that, but it's a little different. A musician by the name of James Hood, who is based out of Los Angeles, has been developing an immersive music and animation show that he calls MESMERICA. And I did an interview with him not that long ago, actually, this morning. And it was really interesting. I've never really had an interview like this. He described himself, this guy was a professional drummer for a long time, and he did play and record with the Pretenders.
Okay.
So this is somebody with a lot of rock and roll cred. But he was telling me that, you know, growing up in the United Kingdom, he said he had this lean, wild look. And then when he went off to school and started writing his own music, his mother was surprised that it was soft, that the music was soft. He liked soft, sweet music. But what he said is that this is meant to be an evocative experience that he is not going to prescribe any meaning to for anyone. If you've been to a laser light show before, you are familiar with listening to music and looking up at the domed ceiling of the planetarium and seeing different patterns, colors. But this is, he refers to it as 3D animation. And synchronized especially with this music that he performs on, it's something called a hand pan. Now, all my folks at the University of North Texas College of Music who have studied with the steel drum band probably know what this is. It is like a Caribbean steel drum, but it's two convex pieces of iron welded together with notepads on it. And James Hood, wearing gloves, strikes what he calls note pads on the metal. He also said it looks like two walks, welded together. I was like, oh, he likes Asian food. Okay, all right. So he said it creates a very soft, sweet, and serene sound. And he has recorded basically a score to go with what, from everything that I have talked to him about and then watched online, it looks like it's fairly moody, phantasmagoric, but abstract animation. And when people watch this, he says it's really fascinating because when you don't tell people, this is exactly what this is about, this is how you should feel, he said some people start weeping and other people just laugh and have a great time. But it's an hour long, I'm just going to call it an immersive concert.
Oh, I like that.
It's like an immersive concert. And it's just meant, he said that we do live in this very busy, chattering world full of a lot of outrage and anxiety and pessimism. And he said he wanted to create something that could become a transcendent experience for people. And he chose the word transcendent very carefully. He said the atheist is welcome at his show, the Buddhist, the devout, the dogmatic. He said this is an experience for anybody. And he's like, I won't tell you what I believe. I'm not going to ask anybody what they believe, but this is meant for people to go and sit and be quiet and kind of have time slowed down or stretched out. But for some people, he said, time kind of speeds up. They walk out and they're like, that felt like it was 15 minutes. So, yeah. So if you're a fan of maybe electronic trance music, or if you like sound baths and a hot take, not a hot take, but hot tip is what I mean. Authentic Yoga Life in Denton is going to be having a sound bath soon. That tends to be a chorus, I'm going to call it, of Tibetan temple bowls that has waves of undulating sound. So if this sounds like it's right up your alley, the first performance is going to be the 31st, that's actually Friday.
Ooh.
Yes. And there are going to be showings on June 1st, June 7th, 8th, June 15th, June 22nd, and 29th.
Oh, so it's here for a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be here for a bit.
It's not like you need to slam it in this weekend if
you don't
you're
have
out of
to
town
do
or
it.
something.
Yeah, you don't have to do it this weekend. There's a range of ticket prices for like kids can get in for like $12, but there's also a VIP ticket package for $39, and I believe if you get the VIP package, they also give you a CD of the music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and if you check out this Facebook post in the text, we have a link to the tickets so that you can go select your date. Obviously, this will also be in Denton time tomorrow. So if you check us out online, that's www.dentonrc.com. And just click on the entertainment button, click on Denton time, and the MESMERICA 360 show will be there for you to link to.
MESMERICA.
Yeah, and if you're not quite into something that's sort of ethereal and transcendent like that, Denton Community Theatre has a black box show coming up this weekend. Sam Shepard's Fool for Love. Sam Shepard is often described as a playwright who actors love. The late Sam Shepard was, great American actor too. People really loved him. And this is indeed, it's an adult show. Use your discretion if you want your teens or kids to go to this. It's the story of a couple, Eddie and May, who are coming apart. And May has fled to a seedy motel in the Mojave Desert, and Eddie has followed her. He's not quite ready to let go. Complicating matters is a shy, sweet landscaper named Martin, who is due any second to pick May up for a date. And then a strange, surreal character referred to as the Old Man, who kind of haunts the play like a ghost, and who seems to be connected to both Eddie and May, and is there to amplify the mystery that is these two characters' past. So that's going to be the 31st. So that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Black Box Theater. Tickets are $15. I would describe this as a rated R show. There's some language, and there's also there's some fast violence. If you're familiar with Sam Shepard, there are occasionally bursts of violence in his shows, but nothing too terrible. If you watch The Walking Dead or movies that have bar fights in them, that kind of thing. So
you can handle
it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Sam Shepard. I find his plays challenging, and they make me a little bit uncomfortable, but in a wonderful way, if that makes sense. So check that out. That'll be on our website. You can also go to dentoncommunitytheatre.com and buy tickets through that. But some different things happening this weekend.
Oh, fun.
And what's happening in the business world?
Not a lot. So I'm going to keep on the roll of weekend events. Okay, so I saved some just that are kind of unusual that we haven't really had around here, and some other fun things because business-wise, I mean, stuff's cranking. Jupiter House is open.
I have finally gone back to Jupiter House.
I know. Joey was on the coffee grind this morning on DentonRadio.com.
Yes.
And we're churning along. We don't have open dates yet for some of the other big ticket items in town. La Di Da and Minifigs Bricks and More, which are next door to Jupiter House, and we're also impacted by the fire, are not quite there yet. They haven't released opening dates. So we're kind of just in like this construction phase right now, which is typical for this time of year, right? It's like you decide you're going to make all these business decisions in like the first quarter of the new year, and then now it's really just executing stuff.
Yep.
So we still have some cool stuff though. So we're at Armadillo on Sunday. This is right up your alley. There's Happy Pig and Bunny Yoga at Armadillo for charity.
Aw.
Tickets
Are there actual pigs and bunnies?
Yes, it's $26. It's hosted by Happy Goat Yoga DFW. So if this event goes well, that means that we can have more animal yoga at the brewery, which I would love.
I love it.
Yes, so it's a feel good event. Yeah, $26 to $31 depending on like the level that you're getting. It's an all level yoga class, and there's literally just going to be pigs and bunnies just like hanging out. So that is going to be Sunday at 11 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So this Sunday, if you want to start your day and then you see a bunny hop, then you get some hoppy beer.
Oh, yes. Well done, Jenna.
Just get it all together. The night before that, Saturday night, so I teased this a little bit last week. Steve's Wine Bar has opened in a new space on Industrial. It's doubled its footprint. And the main reason for the move was to accommodate music. So Steve is really excited. Steve Severance, the owner, he's a musician himself. He plays jazz. He plays in his church band. And so he's really well connected with a lot of these trios and quartets that we have in town. And so he said with the move, he wanted to be able to accommodate music, but then also offer music on different nights, because with Sweetwater back open and grooving and with UNT on the Square, he said there's a lot of like weekday options for live music, but not so much on the weekends. So
it's kind of true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because, I mean, LSA always has something going, but for these smaller jazz acts, most of them I think are booked for more like private parties is kind of the vibe. And, you know, if you're so busy on Friday and Saturday, maybe your business doesn't really have room to accommodate live music in addition to like the regular crowd. So this is the first Saturday that Steve's is going to have its jazz program. So it's going to keep
just getting
this
right
up on
into
Saturdays. Yeah.
They must have been really planning and coordinating this for a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just diving right in.
So they've already had some live music in that space, but this will be the first Saturday night of jazz, which is pretty exciting.
And that's really cool too, because here in Denton, you can now see and listen to live jazz, obviously at University of North Texas. But if you want to be downtown, they still do. I'm pretty sure they still do jazz at Greenhouse.
Yes.
And at why did I just draw a blank? Steve's is going to be doing that. And Sweetwater Grill and Tavern. Sweetwater Grill and Tavern has live jazz regularly. So there are some jazz offerings in Denton.
And that's what he was saying. He was like, on Thursdays, they were doing a Tuesday through Thursday thing. But then on Thursdays, they had live jazz. Sweetwater had live jazz. And UNT on the Square had live jazz. And so he kind of thought, well, okay, why set our musicians up to compete for gigs and switch around? Why not just offer a different evening? And it was something... If you read the piece, he said that sometimes people would see, you know, the front of the old shop with the musicians, and people would kind of not want to interrupt by coming into the business. So now the new layout can really accommodate upping the musical offering. So that's really exciting.
Very cool.
Finally,
jazz.
The other thing this weekend is Golden Boy Coffee is hosting its first drag show.
Really?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
No cover, 18 and up. It's called A Family Affair, and it's from the Alternative House Productions. So yeah, it's their first drag show at Golden Boy, and no cover, 18 plus.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that's a great little like thing to do.
I'm trying to think where they're going to be though, because
they
have
move
a lot
the
of
tables.
Oh, they are going to move the tables.
So when they do performances, if you've gone into Golden Boy, obviously it's kind of like it goes deep.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So
That's true.
toward that back area, they just move the tables to allow for performers. So I've seen like live music there where they just move all those tables kind of toward the front or take them out and then to accommodate live performances. So
Very
they're
cool.
going to kind of do that vibe. And then if we're looking for next week, now that it's summer, this is a really great event. And it's a businessy event. Frio's, the not popsicle because that's a trademark term, the frozen pop stand on University Drive is having its ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce next Thursday. Normally I would never talk about like a ribbon cutting. That's not my thing, but it means $2 popsicles. So it's from noon to 9 all day next Thursday. They're going to have $2 popsicles to celebrate their ribbon cutting and grand opening.
Man, lots of ways to cool yourself down in Denton this summer.
I know, we're very lucky. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be at least one of those things.
I know.
This
I'm going
weekend.
to have to. I will not be available for the Pig and Bunny. Dang it! I will spoken for at 11 o'clock on Sunday. But
I'm so sad for you.
know.
That's like
But the Golden
your
Boy
brand.
Traction. I know. And I have to admit to being someone who has fallen down the YouTube vortex of just watching videos of people giving pigs and piglets chin and belly scritches.
That sounds delightful.
After you get off deadline, watching a pig smile. Try
Makes
it.
things better.
Try it, people. Try it.
Well, thanks so much for tuning
you.
into our weekly show. You can read about everything we talked about in the Denton Record-Chronicle, DentonRC.com, and we will see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. here on DentonRadio.com.
Stay dry, everybody. Bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton.